In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college basketball games happening on January 2nd, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Rutgers versus Indiana. Big Ten basketball provides an exciting and competitive matchup between the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and the Indiana Hoosiers. These two teams squared off once last season, where Rutgers managed to secure a 9-point victory on their home court. Rutgers most recently grabbed an easy win in a non-conference game against Columbia, blowing them out 91-64, easily covering the spread as 11.5-point home favorites. On the other hand, Indiana hosted Winthrop and came away with a 77-68 win, but they failed to cover the spread as 16.5-point favorites. The Indiana Hoosiers have been one of the more reliable teams this season, with an average of 79 points per game and a defense that limits opponents to just 69.9 points. Their offense is exceptionally efficient, shooting an impressive 53.9% from the field, while their defense does a good job of limiting opponents to just 47.8%. This balanced and efficient style of play on both ends of the court is characteristic of teams that are built for success in the postseason. In terms of betting, Indiana has a 6-5 record against the spread as a favorite, but their 3 losses have come at the hands of top 60 teams, which highlights their ability to compete at a high level. Rutgers, despite having a solid season, has faced similar high-caliber competition, but Indiana's balanced team dynamic, coupled with their dominance at home, makes them the clear favorite in this matchup. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights have demonstrated some significant defensive weaknesses this season. They are allowing an average of 74.3 points per game, and opponents are shooting an alarming 50.7% from the field against them. This inefficiency on defense could be a serious liability against Indiana, who is one of the most efficient shooting teams in the country. Furthermore, Rutgers has struggled to defend against the 3-point shot, giving up 34.1% of opponent 3-point attempts, which could be problematic when facing Indiana's versatile offensive attack. From a betting perspective, Rutgers has been an unreliable pick, with a dismal 1-6 record against the spread following a win, 0-2 against the spread on the road, and an overall record of 5-7-1 against the spread this season. While the game may appear competitive on paper, Indiana holds a clear advantage, especially given their undefeated home record. Rutgers lacks the defensive consistency and discipline that has been a hallmark of their teams in previous seasons. Rutgers does have a pair of talented freshmen, but beyond those 2 players, their overall talent level drops significantly. In contrast, Indiana has much more depth and will undoubtedly be the more physical team in the paint. With the Hoosiers playing at home, they'll benefit from the added advantage of a familiar environment in conference play. Indiana's only road loss came against Nebraska, but they bounced back with a home win over Minnesota. Similarly, Rutgers lost on the road to Ohio State but secured a victory at home against Penn State. While playing at home is an advantage, it's not the sole reason Indiana will come out on top in this matchup. The biggest factor on the court will be Indiana's size and strength in the paint. Almer Bello is a dominant presence at 7 foot and 265 pounds. While Malik Reno, a strong 6'9" forward, is a force on the boards and a reliable inside scorer. Rutgers ace Bailey will struggle to contend with both of these physical players, especially since Bailey plays more like a guard than a center. Additionally, Bailey will need to face off against Indiana's wing players, such as MG Bako, who are both lengthy and skilled. Rutgers' recent loss to Princeton highlights the fact that their freshmen are still figuring things out. As we look further into the season, I have some concerns about the Indiana Hoosiers when it comes to the challenges that lie ahead in Big Ten play, particularly when they are forced to leave Bloomington. However, I also have concerns about Rutgers. If you take away their 2 key players, Ace Bailey and Clifford Amarui, who form the core of their offense, the Scarlet Knights lack a solid backup plan. This lack of depth could prove problematic as the season progresses. On the other hand, Indiana boasts a talented roster with significant potential, so the Indiana Hoosiers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights rank 75th in offensive efficiency with a rating of 112.6, while the Indiana Hoosiers sit slightly higher in 56th place with a rating of 113.5. Rutgers' most recent game against Columbia ended in a push on the point total line of 155, and they have gone under the point total in 3 of their last 5 games, including both of their road games this season. Similarly, the Hoosiers have seen their last 3 games fall under the posted total, with 8 of their 13 games this season also ending under. This reflects their balanced approach on both sides of the ball. Historical trends between these two teams support a low-scoring outcome, as their last 3 matchups ended with combined point totals of 123, 126, and 111. Given the style of play expected in this game, it seems likely that these two storied programs will engage in another hard-fought, low-scoring battle. For these reasons, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Purdue versus Minnesota. The Purdue Boilermakers will face off against the Minnesota Golden Gophers in an exciting Big Ten showdown on Thursday evening. Purdue is coming off a dominant victory over Toledo this past Sunday. On the other hand, Minnesota secured a home win against Morgan State. Last season, the Boilermakers earned an 86-74 win over the Golden Gophers in their only meeting of the year. As Purdue heads into this matchup, they have experienced some struggles recently, losing 3 out of their last 5 games. However, 2 of those losses came at the hands of ranked Southeastern Conference teams, and the other was a road defeat at Penn State. Despite these setbacks, the Boilermakers have been impressive offensively, shooting over 48% from the field. With their offensive capabilities, they should not face much trouble in this game. Meanwhile, Minnesota has endured a rough start to their conference play, losing their first 2 Big Ten games by substantial margins of 18 and 15 points. The Golden Gophers are only shooting 44.5% from the field, which has been a significant issue. Their offensive struggles have been evident throughout the season, and although their defense has been decent in some instances, they still allowed 82 points to Indiana and 90 points to Michigan State. There is a clear disparity between these two teams' offensive abilities. Minnesota has had a tough time finding their rhythm offensively this year, and it seems unlikely that they will be able to compete at the same level as Purdue in this department. In contrast, the Boilermakers have been solid offensively, especially from beyond the arc, where they are shooting an impressive 39.2% from three-point range, ranking 19th in the nation. On top of that, Purdue is ranked 11th in adjusted offensive efficiency, scoring 120.4 points per 100 possessions. The Boilermakers also hold a slight advantage in rebound rate, with a 50.4% to 49.3% edge over the Golden Gophers. Although the Purdue Boilermakers are not quite as dominant as they were last season, their overall numbers are still strong. Purdue has faced one of the toughest schedules in the country, ranking 6th in strength of schedule, while Minnesota has had a much easier road, ranking 300th. The Golden Gophers have been inconsistent in their recent performances, going 3-3 in their last 6 games. Moreover, they are currently 0-2 in Big Ten play, which has further highlighted their struggles in conference matchups. Additionally, Purdue is the far superior offensive team, averaging 120.4 points per 100 possessions, which places them 10th in the nation, compared to just 106.5 points per 100 for Minnesota. The Boilermakers also hold a better adjusted defensive efficiency rating, which further supports their overall superiority. In fact, all but 2 of Purdue's wins this season have come by double digits. To add to the Golden Gophers' struggles, they have only covered the spread once throughout the entire season. So the Purdue Boilermakers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Purdue's success largely hinges on their ability to score, and they have been exceptional in this regard, boasting an impressive 39.2% shooting percentage from beyond the three-point line, ranking 19th in Division I. This statistic is especially important given that Minnesota has struggled defensively against three-point shooting, ranking 190th in three-point defense. The Golden Gophers' defense has been porous at times, allowing 90 points to Michigan State and 82 points to Indiana, further highlighting their vulnerability against high-scoring teams like Purdue. Moreover, while Minnesota has shown some offensive productivity, especially at home, averaging a solid 77 points over their last 5 home games, the Boilermakers have had some defensive lapses in Big Ten play. Purdue gave up 81 points to Nebraska and 78 points to Maryland in their 2 conference matchups. Given these trends, it is likely that this game will see plenty of scoring. The over has hit in 4 of Minnesota's last 5 home games, further suggesting that points will be abundant. I anticipate a high-scoring affair, with both teams pushing the pace. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Illinois versus Oregon. Big Ten basketball action takes place on Thursday night, and we're here to provide everything you need to make an informed decision, including our Illinois versus Oregon predictions. The number 22 Fighting Illini dominated Chicago State with an impressive 117-64 victory, covering a minus 38-point spread at home on Sunday. Meanwhile, the number 9 Ducks triumphed over Weber State with an 89-49 win, also covering a minus 21-point spread at home. With both teams showing strong performances in their recent matchups, this game promises to be an exciting one. Oregon enters this matchup riding a 3-game winning streak and will be playing at home. The Ducks have performed exceptionally well to start the season, and their defense has been a key component of their success, holding opponents to 61 points or fewer in 4 of their last 5 games. On the other hand, Illinois has won 3 of its last 4 contests but experienced a setback in their most recent road game against Northwestern, where they lost in overtime. While the Fighting Illini boast an impressive offensive output, averaging over 86 points per game, their shooting efficiency leaves something to be desired, as they're hitting just 44.9% of their shots from the field. The two teams are closely matched overall, but despite Illinois' strong play, I give Oregon the edge due to their home court advantage. Illinois will be traveling quite a distance for this matchup, and it remains to be seen how they will perform away from home. Illinois has only played 1 road game so far this season, which ended in their lone conference loss, and they were favored in that game. Oregon, however, presents a much more challenging opponent than Northwestern. The Ducks will likely capitalize on their opportunities at the free throw line throughout the game. Meanwhile, Illinois may struggle to convert their shots consistently, which could allow Oregon to take advantage of fast break opportunities and quick baskets. Oregon's home court advantage should be a significant factor in this game, tipping the scales in their favor. So the Oregon Ducks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In terms of offensive production, Illinois has the upper hand, averaging 6.9 more points per game than Oregon. However, both teams have identical defensive records, allowing exactly 66 points per game. Illinois has been winning games by an average margin of 21 points, while Oregon's average victory margin is slightly lower at 14 points. Defensively, both teams are tied for 51st in the nation, allowing a combined 131 points per game. While Illinois' shooting percentages are below average across the board, the Ducks also sit in the bottom half of the rankings in 3-point shooting percentage. Given that both teams are strong defensively and have struggled with shooting efficiency, I don't anticipate a high-scoring affair. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.